Hey, what's up you guys, people of the internet, everyone who clicked on this very video. My name is Cass, and today I'm going to give to you a very unofficial 6 of CROWS pronunciation guide. This is unofficial because I'm only giving you like the Dutch names that I feel like people have trouble pronouncing because it's Dutch. And it is very unofficial because I will be contradicting Lee Bardugo on at least one occasion. So first, I'm going to start with character names. Then I'm going to give some place names which are vaguely less relevant, probably, but you know, we're gonna see what happens. First, this book starts with a beautiful irrelevant chapter from the POV of Rotterdam Stadswacht. Oh, that's a word, Stadswacht. Or they say Stadswatch. Stad the city, watch the English words instead of wacht, the Dutch word. Doesn't really matter. This character is often mispronounced. His name is Joost. I've explained it before as like roast, Joost, like roast with a J, but it's also not an English J, it's a Dutch J, which is like softer. It's like, not like joke, the English word, but like egg yolk, yolk, Joost, yolk, roast, Joost. That's the proper pronunciation. Also in that chapter you have an Anya, you have a Rutger, but those are like even more irrelevant than Joost for the whole story. What Dutch has that English doesn't really have is like double, well, it does have it, but the double vowels are pronounced very differently. That's when they meet, when Cass meets with the other barrel boss in the beginning of the book, he meets with Geels. The double E is I, of A. Yeah, it's A, but with a G. It's my southern accent going Geels instead of Geels, because that's more effort to say. In the second book, they call Cornelius Smeet, I guess you'd say it in English, but in Dutch you would pronounce it Smeet. I also pronounce it Smeet if I'm reading it, because I'm like in the English mindset where I'm pronouncing everything English. But if you were to be proper Dutch, you would say Smeet. From the main 6, only 2 are actually from Rotterdam and would be pronounced in a Dutch way. And one of them is Cass, and Cass is not really a Dutch name. So Cass is just Cass. Oh, his brother is Jordy in English. Which in Dutch is very similar, but it has the same yoke J that Joost has. So in Dutch you would say Jordy instead of Jordy. Not a big difference. But the other of the main 6, that's actually from Kerch. I have beef with Lee Bardugo over, because she says it's wylan, and I inherently disagree, because the Y sound is not really a Dutch thing we have. I always say it in my head as wylan, because a Y, like the letter, in Dutch would be pronounced I most of the time, but wylan is not really a name, and it's also weird to say. But wylan, on the other hand, sounds very similar to Willem, which is a very common Dutch name. And then I feel like wylan makes sense. You may fight me on this, but you cannot convince me. One of the guards they want to bribe is called Willem, like Willen, but he's irrelevant. The sailor that like does the boat thingy is called Specht. Guess that's relevant. I'm trying to think of like more character, because most of these are like side characters that are not that important. We're just gonna go through the pronunciation guide here of every Dutch sounding. Oh, Van Eyck's wife, new wife. Well, his first wife is called Maria or Myra. I'm not sure. Both are Dutch names. Maria is more common, but it could be Myra depending on how you pronounce that Y. My second wife could be Alice. Could be Alice if you want to be more Dutch. Doesn't have to be though. Oh, the caretaker at St. Hilda is called Betje. This is thrilling content. I didn't realize how uninteresting this would be when I started it. Helene, who does the mangerie, I don't know how to say that, the shop that Inej was at, Helene van Houden. There you go, make of that what you will. Hi! In this book, one of the merchant council guys who bets on their scheme is called Jelle Radmaker. Radmaker, I think? Radmaker would be like a more normal Dutch name, but I think they made it Radmaker to make it easier to pronounce for non-Dutch people. Also, I've just now seen that as Jellen instead of Jelle. They've just, I don't know if that's an error. It's probably called Jordi, right? Because here it says Jordan. That makes no sense. Oh, and they do say that it's Maria Hendricks and not Maya Hendricks. There's a member of the Kerch Merchant Council called Nathan Borech, which is, I've heard Nathan as a name, because it's Nathan. But this is Nathan Borech. They say it's Nathan, but then it would be Nathan. Okay, whatever. Chief producer of the House of the White Rose is Onkel. They say Onkele. O-N-K-L-E. But if you wanted uncle to be like a proper Dutch word, or it's technically Belgian, but it doesn't really matter, you'd say onkel and not onkel, whatever. I guess the pronunciation would be the same, but the spelling could be more Dutch saying onkel. Felix, whatever. They say per Haskell, or like, that's how I say it on my English way. If I would be speaking Dutch, I would say per Haskell. They say per. It's per or per. I say either per or per if I want to be real Dutch. There's a second Felix. There's a member of the Dregs called Rudig. And Seger. Yeah, that's all the names they use. That were very Dutch. I've realized how boring it is to just hear me say words, but in case you're interested in how to pronounce things, there you go. I do have a few things for like places. Oh, I can use the map for that, just to also cheat. Like, okay, so street is straat. They use that a lot. Yeah, Stadsrecht. They say a few Dutch words there, like hardly Dutch, like goed met bridge. They just call it bridge, I think. Doesn't really make sense. Oh, and something I realized about Ketterdam. I say Ketterdam like everyone else. But if you wanted to say that real Dutch, you would say Ketterdam. Ketter meaning heretic, or heathen, I guess. Which is a fun linguistical thing if you want to think about that. And kerch sounding like church a lot. Also to the Dutch word kerk, which means church. Which is interesting because they're not really, like, they pray to Gezen, I don't know. But they're not that religious. And then to call their whole country after a church is kind of weird. But sure. Also, like, the prosperity, well, whatever their motto is, that doesn't sound Dutch at all, but it's fine. Okay, so all of the things here are English apart from the Geldrenner Hotel. They also have the Geldstraat, I think. Geld means money. And Boeksplein. But I think that's kind of possibly obvious. Boek just means book. Plein means square or place. They say the uil comedie. I don't know what uil is supposed to mean. Comedie just means comedy. You have a few of the districts. One of them called the Zilver district, which is similar to silver. Silver means silver. Silver should mean something different, similar, I don't know. They have the harbor where they meet Van Eck to do the exchange at the end of the first book. Velgeluk or Welgeluk, I guess. It's supposed to be Welgeluk if it were proper Dutch, but they call it Velgeluk. It's fine. And I think that's in everything. Don't know how thrilling content this video was, but if you ever want to pronounce a Dutch word in Six of Crows, there you go. And if I missed anything, let me know in the comments down below. But yeah, that was it for this video. No more, there's no funerals. How do you say that? I don't know if there's a Dutch word for mourners. Rouwenaren? Geen rouwers, geen begrafenissen. Sure, we'll take it. I will see you again at some point. Goodbye.